Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Awaken to Happiness Now global series. Thank you so much for being here with us. If you're live with us here, welcome, welcome. If you're watching on the replay, the recording on YouTube, welcome, welcome. Please do subscribe so you can take advantage of all the current shows, all the previous shows, all the shows coming up. It is my deepest wish, desire, and intention to bring to you these wonderful speakers who are sharing their wisdom, their teachings, their experiences, their processes, their channelings, their healing, etc., so that we can all thrive, so that we can all awaken to happiness now. And today, my dear friend Lori Spagna is back with us, and we're going to be talking about embracing your divine power in 2025. So, some of what we're going to talk about in this experiential workshop is how you can prepare and navigate 2025 in the year ahead, how to live your soul's highest fulfillment, what your soul's divine agenda is, and how to align with it, how to use higher consciousness to improve your life, how to manifest with mastery, and how to become a more conscious, deliberate co-creator. So all of that, and of course, so much more. During our conversation, it's not just talk; it's like there's transmissions of energy and frequencies as well. So be willing to receive. And if you don't know Lori, she's been with us many, many times. We love having her on the show. Always high vibe, always so much wisdom, and sometimes new wisdom as well, right? So it's always fun to hear. But Lori is a best-selling author, speaker, spiritual catalyst, intuitive, multidimensional channel, mentor, animal communicator, energy healer, starseed, contactee, and visionary who has transformed the lives of thousands of humans and animals via her channeled ascension guidance, intuition, sacred energy healing, dormant DNA activations, divine transmissions, and animal communication. Lori also channels a group of non-physical beings called the Collective, which includes a collective group of ascended masters, divine goddesses, angels, teachers, loved ones, the animal kingdom collectives, star family races, interstellar beings, and others in the non-physical realms. Lori is the founder of the Sacred Visionary Mentorship for heart-centered, mission-driven visionaries and leaders who want to make a global impact, contribute to the expansion and upliftment of humanity, live the life of their dreams, and achieve their soul's highest fulfillment. And so, like always, I'm so excited about our conversation with Lori. I know it's going to be high vibe. I know there's going to be so many ahas as well. So please join me in welcoming Lori back to the show. Lori, welcome. Welcome back.
Hello. Just want to make sure I'm
Hello.
not muted. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Well, hello, all of
Welcome.
you beautiful beings. It's great to see you all. It's great to be
The
with you.
windy,
Thanks for having me.
windswept Lori.
I am. It's a windswept day. But you know what?
I love it.
We're moving into a new eclipse season, which is all about letting go of having to be perfect and having to do everything right and perfect all the time, and trusting more that everything's in divine alignment. So we'll just let that be. But thanks for having me.
Yes,
Let's love these
exactly.
beautiful people.
Absolutely. And it's about everything is happening in divine alignment, in divine timing. Everything is perfect as it is. So yeah, we're happy to have you. And Linda's asking, where's your precious puppy? We love your puppy. I'm assuming your puppy's not with you today.
No, she's with me.
Oh,
She's
she is.
because of where I'm sitting, she can't. She might try to make an appearance on my lap, but she's at the
Yeah.
floor right now at my
Oh, no worries.
chair. I'm sure
As long as she's happy and comfortable.
here, Emma. Come say hello. All right, you just got yourself tangled. Come here. Come up. Here she comes by invitation. Here she is. She's always with me. Hi.
Hi, Emma.
How is everyone
Hold on.
doing? I want to ask people. Can I just go in? I want to
Go
ask
ahead.
people sincerely, and I'll look in the chat. How many of you are interested, really sincerely interested in contributing? Let me take a step back. In living in accordance with your highest fulfillment. Like thumbs up, or like it doesn't, maybe it doesn't really. Some people are just like, it doesn't matter that much to them. It's okay, right? Sure. So sure is like, yeah, that sounds good, maybe. Marjorie, me. Sure is like, sure is like,
Okay.
I don't know if that's okay. So Tanya clarified 100%. Yes, of course, most definitely. Okay, good. So what does that mean to you guys? What does it mean to you? And I know that's like a big open-ended question, but you know, maybe you could put a couple bullet points in for you. What does it mean to you to be living in accordance with your highest fulfillment? Maybe you guys can put some comments in there, because this is how I can help you when I know what it means to you, because not everybody's is necessarily exactly the same, right? I mean, there's some leave fears behind for sure. That's a good one. What are some of the fears that you want to leave behind? Can you identify them? Feel seen? Yeah. And why is feeling seen important? And Linda's, we're not quite up to questions yet, but wants to be of service in the greatest and loving way, to contribute for the highest and best cause for humanity, to serve while I live my life purpose, take care of my children and serve humanity. Then we can be our true self. Yes. Being in service and love and healing, being happy from within. Awesome. To live in joy from the everyday, doing what I like. All right, good. So let's do some more on it. Live in joy, live free of fears, be seen, be heard. I'm assuming be heard. I put that in to be heard. Being your true self, living your life purpose, being my best creative self without fear, learn to improve life from the way my parents taught. Okay, that's an interesting perspective. All right, so what are some of the fears you'd like to get rid of? Because that came in from a few people, living without fear. And then I remember Marjorie from last time. And then when you're talking about living in accordance with your purpose, okay, financial fear, I get it. So we could talk about that. When you're talking about living in accordance with your life purpose, what does that mean to you? For whoever put that in. Being in service, to be myself without fear of so much judgment. Okay. Living free of judgment. All right. So as we're in this, I'm asking if we would like to do, if my team would like to come forward and do a channeling. I'm not sure I can walk my talk. What is it about walking your talk that makes you think you can't do that? Arun Mimia, pardon me if I pronounce incorrectly. Healing. And Ina, being abandoned for your beliefs. That's the fear of rejection, part of that. Being a healer without my own health issues, right? The best healers heal their own issues. Usually, I mean, it's not, you know, usually you heal your own issues first. And from doing that, you become a magnificent healer, right? Self-forgiveness. Okay. All right. I'm going to bring through a channeling based on what you guys are bringing in. I don't really know what it's going to say, what's going to do. I'm going to bring in the collective. Understand that, know that one fear of telling my children everything I offer. Okay. Let's ask Source, the divine and the infinite, the all that is, the divine intelligence and our consciousness associated with all beings involved in this group, to come forward and unify with the collective that I'm part of, which is like part of the collective, and to bring forward information, energy, and consciousness for everyone participating, live and in delayed playback, and only in service to the light and our roles in God's plan of light and creation, only as is for the most benevolent best with zero harm. So we've lots of beings gathering, just taking a bit of a moment here. And who or which sub-collective within the collective will come forward first, or will it be? Good, so we have a higher collective that is associated with all the teams that serve the light, associated with everyone listening. So this is a sub-collective of higher consciousness of everyone participating. And first, we would like to welcome all beings who are choosing a path of awakening at this time. And welcome all of your identification selves, your identity selves. Notice we do not use the term ego, for we do not subscribe to this condition. you have identity selves who are participating in a physical reality. And we would like to offer some insight, guidance, support, and energy for all of you here today that supports you on your journey and is related to many of the topics you were bringing up. First and foremost, let us say that we are aware at this time on your earth overall, particularly in the areas closest to the United States and the North American continent that are most directly interacting in this geographical area. The levels of fear, the energetics of fear have amplified and increased. And overall, there is more fear, not less, than ever before. And this is because your sense of stability, your sense of all that you knew, and the way you have lived is being, we are searching for the correct word to use. Dismantled, yes. Rocked, yes. Shake to the core, yes. These are many of your thoughts, but overall, we would say you are recognizing the instability of the structures and the foundations on which you rested your sense of stability. And none of these foundations were ever truly stable, but rather in the past, your fears were more deeply suppressed and repressed, and you were less conscious of them. And you were somehow operating, for the most part, with them, in spite of them. And now it is becoming more challenging and more difficult to operate with them, especially considering that the very foundations that you have rested upon are no longer as stable as you once believed. Now, these fears, regardless of how they are identified, it must be stated this, thus, they are simply energy. All things are. And so when you are identifying with an energy of any fear, and some of you identified it as fear of money or material security. Some of you identified it as fear of judgment or fear of others' opinions, especially those who are closest to you. Some of you identified these fears as fear of being able to be the truth of who you are or your most authentic self, walking your talk, so to speak. Some of you identified it as fear of your Sorry about that. We're good, right? You guys can hear me all right, right? Yes, we were speaking about the fears that people are sometimes secretly and sometimes not so secretly harboring. Nonetheless, you are all connected to a field of consciousness, and there is no way that one on your earth can be experiencing some degree of fear and another on your earth cannot experience it at all. This is impossible, for you are all connected to energy. However, what you must begin to know more and more is that as your old paradigm becomes less and less secure, less and less stable, what will and is meant to develop from within you is the energetic frequencies that you associate with. And this can easily be translated as your vibratory state. So fear then, in all of its various myriads, is nothing more than the energetic state that you are vibrating in harmony with. And you may say there's no harmony here with fear, but we are saying that the energetics are vibrating at the frequency that matches your frequency, the frequency that is within you. And we have expressed this time and again, and we'll express it again, for we understand that it takes time to integrate these concepts. Your new reality will be based entirely on consciousness, energy, and vibration. Your old reality was indeed based on this too. However, your perspective was not aligned with this and was not aware of it. And so you were believing and perceiving in the physical world, which you often refer to as the third dimensional reality, and even sometimes fourth and fifth. These are physical aspects. Even though we would not necessarily agree with these definitions, we understand they are your interpretation. So your new paradigm reality will no longer allow you to believe that the physical world is all there is, and will not allow you to continue to survive and thrive without the recognition that you have vibratory frequencies within you, that you are vibration itself, fueled from the consciousness that you are, for ultimately you are consciousness itself, and that with your consciousness you can change your vibration. And therefore, you have the power within you to change your experience. Now, you may say fear is not a choice, but we would say it is. You are choosing the vibration of fear. And this does not make you wrong or bad. This is not something that we are blaming you for or victimizing you for. We are attempting to empower you. For the vibration that you are living in, embodying and emanating, whether it is fear or anything else, can be completely transmuted. Now, you may know this with your brain, but we would pose this question to you, especially for those of you who have embodied this fear for quite some time. The question we are posing is, how long do you think in your earthly reality you have been living with and or dealing with this fear? And if the answer that comes to your mind is for anything longer than but a few minutes, days, or weeks at most, then you are not doing or taking the appropriate actions that are needed and or required to expunge this fear from you. For fear is simply vibration, energy, and you do not have to live with it any longer. But if you have been living with it for longer than but a few minutes, days, or weeks, you are living with it for far too long. Because this is the time that you are being empowered to make new choices with your consciousness, to change your energy and vibration. Now, we hear you, so many of you, and you say, but I have done so much, but I have tried so hard, but I have attended workshops and classes, and I have done energy healing. And we would say, you are here now understanding this language because you have done so much. We will tell you that for the most part, your human collective cannot relate to what is being offered here now, today, cannot understand and would not be able to sit through it even for more than but a few moments. For they are not vibrating in harmony with this elevated level of consciousness right here, right now. So be not dismayed by all the work you have done. You have done much, of course you have, but it has only gotten you to here. And there is so much further and more to go. And it is not meant to put some form of disappointment or hopelessness in your field. It is meant to empower you. For the distance to go is always that much more. You can elevate and grow and become more and more expunged of this very fear that you desire to be free and liberated from and of. And further, you can become more and more of the greatest gifted healer or intuitive that you desire to be, that you can become more and more of the being who is living in accordance with your highest fulfillment. This is the distance you have to go. And this distance is meant to be joyful. It is not meant to be riddled with fear and struggle. It is simply vibratory shifting. Now, for those of you choosing to release and transmute, we would invite you to consider, especially during this next window of your linear time, which will traverse through easily the end of what you identify as March, and even beyond and into the coming year, to seriously, and when we say seriously, deliberately consider how you have been playing in your own life experience and all the things you have done to get you here, and begin to bless and acknowledge and recognize them, and honor your journey, and also acknowledge that it got you to here but won't get you to there. For the new paradigm is requiring something entirely new. And what you will learn in the coming months through this eclipse window and throughout the course of this linear year, this calendar year, is that change is not only inevitable, it is required. You simply will not be able to stay the same as you have been and thrive. You simply will not be able to continue on the path you have been if you choose to continue to grow and expand. If you choose to stay stagnant and stuck, you will experience only more of what you already have. This is not fear. This is evolution. This is the path of the light. Remember, at the onset, it was requested by the one whose voice is being utilized, that which serves the light and your roles in the plan and agenda of the light, and we will better define this as well, because we understand most humans do not understand this concept. They think they understand, but they do not. But since it was requested at the onset that which comes through is in service to your roles in the agenda of the light, that is what is being said. For the agenda of the light to support you to expand and to liberate yourself, to evolve and to grow into something greater and something better, which in truth is more of the truth of who you are. You are already magnificent. You are already full of capacity and potential, infinite potential. So if you are allowing yourself to resonate and vibrate at the energy of fear and worry and doubt, then you are not being the extraordinary being that you truly are. You are allowing those frequencies to interfere with the truth of who you are. And so therefore the light is asking, requesting, and imploring, in a sense, for you to choose something new. So this is why we are more than suggesting that you take this time with deliberation and consider all that you have done that has gotten you to here. Bless it, honor it, and acknowledge it. It has helped you to get to here. And then to recognize new changes and new choices must be made. And this will include new behaviors, new ways of thinking and being, new beings that you will involve yourself with, new circles that you will participate in, new groups that you will be part of, new ways to participate in your physical earthly experience, all of which designed for you, by you, if you so choose, to continue to up level and expand you, and to help you to become more of who you are meant to be and liberate yourself from this so-called fear that most of you have been holding on to for far too long. You are not meant to vibrate in fear any longer. And yet, we are aware it has become more amplified than ever before, as we stated at the onset. One final piece, as we promised we would like, and we will pause, we would like to clarify this conversation about light and dark. For far too many of you associate that with good and evil, and that is simply not the case. Light is the expansion, the growth, the evolution, the upliftment of consciousness. And you are consciousness. And because you are here, we can only assume, and indeed we know, that you are choosing a path of light. At least you believe yourself to be and perceive yourself to be. Dark is contraction and stagnation. Now, who among you here wants to continue to be stagnant? Not but one. So this is why this particular transmission is coming through. Because on a conscious level, each and every one of you is choosing the light to expand, to up level, to evolve, to grow. One final piece. On an unconscious level, many of you, we are sorry to say, are not choosing the light. You are choosing comfort. You are choosing the easy path, the comfort zone. And we are asking you to become aware that the comfort zone is becoming too uncomfortable because it has kept you stagnant for too long. This is for you and only you to choose. Will you continue on the path that you've been that allows you to vibrate in harmony with fear and worry and stagnation, to stuck, to expand? Or will you choose in a whole new way to shift and change and expand into the light? This must be done both consciously and unconsciously. For the unconscious is part of the resistance to change. Know this as well. The unconscious is also sometimes the forward movement that can inspire change. It is not but one or the other. The fact that it is the unconscious is the issue. It must be brought to the surface so that you can choose more consciously and with more wisdom. This is where we will pause at this time. We hope this has been helpful, and we will continue to be here with you for the duration of our time together.
Yes, thank you. That was very powerful. It was like right to the point, and definitely kicked some butt, I think, for a lot of people.
It's not always easy. Like we already know this journey, the journey of choosing consciousness is not the easiest journey, but it's not meant to be so difficult. It's when we hang on to our old stuck aspects that's difficult, right? And I'm sure on your calls you've already done this year some like astrology reading calls this year and some numerology reading, right? We know 2025 is a 9-year, 9-step transformation, right? I'm not going to repeat things that you guys already know. I hope not. But there are no, in the numerology, which is basically, in a sense, you could say 1 to 11 or 0 to 11, or some people say 1 to 9, whatever it is, you're dealing with just a few numbers. The two numbers that signify change more than any other numbers is 5 and 9.
Yeah.
In a 9-year, and you got a significant 5 in there.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
the question becomes, are you willing to have transformation? Are you willing to walk that line of transformation, that path of transformation? And yes, you're right. Consciously, we say we do, but unconsciously, a lot of us are stuck in certain ways.
Yeah. I mean, stuckness is like the hardest thing there is, right? It's the hardest thing there is, being stuck. Because I know for me, like the worst thing is for me is I'm trying so hard to get unstuck or unblocked or find my way through some density. This is why I do what I do, by the way, because I know the pain, the torture of searching for the solution, the insight, the answer, the guidance, the wisdom, the healing, like relentlessly searching for it and feeling like I'm running into roadblocks, and then going through like a year where you're finally like, now I see it. And it was so easy. I know that pain. That's why I do what I do, because one of my superpowers I mean, I'm an awesome channeler, I think, if I do say so myself. But one of my superpowers when I'm working with people and helping them is to get right to the root of their thing. Sometimes I'm so good at it, they're not even ready to see that yet, but it starts to dig up the roots. So, and then I can move
Absolutely.
energy, help them clear, heal, and resolve it, right? Because it's just energy. You are not your stuck points. You are not your traumas. You are not your pain. You are not your suffering. You are not your lack of self-forgiveness. You are not your struggle. You are not your loneliness. You are not your self-judgment. Like those things aren't even yours. Those are just energy. And the problem when someone's stuck in energy is that energy becomes its own frequency fence. I know, Shefali, you've heard me talk about frequency fences, right?
Yeah.
A frequency fence is the energetic that you're in, that you're vibrating with, and that becomes its own fence. You can't break free. The way you get out of a frequency fence of an energetic density is you have to engage with someone who's not in that density. That's why we call on angels, right? That's because they're not in that density. But a lot of times the angels are like, I'm doing, but it's like not enough. You need some more tools in the physical to meet me at a higher frequency. Or sometimes angels are like, I'm doing what I can, but you don't realize you're in this looping pattern. So you keep calling it back. And then we don't realize what we're doing. That's why we need to work with somebody who is not stuck in that density, who can help us see that light. And that's why our stuck points are usually we're doing the same thing over and over again, and we're not having the results.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Linda says it sometimes isn't obvious. No, sometimes it's not obvious, but are you truly willing to look? Are you truly willing to see what's there, what the stuckness is?
Not obvious. It's not obvious. When you're in a stuck pattern, it is not obvious. So I was in a very stuck pattern this year myself of overgiving, people pleasing, and attracting people to me who were like bullies. It was like, if you don't, like yesterday's bully in my life was, if you don't give me 60 days of free service, I'm going to call my lawyer. Like, are you kidding me? Really?
Wow.
Sometime, like after a year of, I love you, you helped me so much, I love you, you helped me so much, I love you, you helped me so much. And then the year's over. And I did another offering, like, oh, I'll give you another 10 days for free, plus a free this. And it was, no, I want 60 days, not 10 days of free. That's the insanity of my life right now, right? But it took me a year of going through this, like, I'm trying to please these people. I'm trying to get to these people. Like, what is that craziness? So this is the reality we're in. The chaos and the craziness is coming up to the surface to be so obvious because we can't live with it anymore. But we have to say, like, at the end of the day, it's like, I've had enough. I'm not going to vibrate with this anymore. How do I get myself out of this frequency bandwidth? And again, I will tell you that it's not easy. It's not easy to get yourself out of a frequency bandwidth. You have to get yourself in a whole different energetic container that's going to support you in making the transformation. And of course, there's the multidimensional levels and layers, right? There's the physical, there's the emotional, there's the mental, there's those overlapping aspects, there's the light, there's the spiritual aspect, there's karmic, dharmic, even though we're being liberated from that stuff now. There's soul agenda aspects, right? Because the soul has an agenda.
Yeah.
For your growth, your transformation. So a lot, like, if part of my soul's agenda is to finally break free from the people pleaser, it's going to give me a massive amount of lesson on that, because it's like, I'm not going to let you miss this lesson. I'm not going to let you continue to do that, because it's just so easy for you to keep giving and giving and giving and people pleasing and tapping on tiptoes and trying to placate people. And that's just not okay anymore. Like, a master doesn't do that. Right? We're at the beginning of an eclipse, so it's front of mind for me because this has been my year. Right?
I
So
just want to ask everybody, just really quickly, during that channeling, how many of you got an aha or some sort of awareness, because I know I did, which
Thank
is
you for
really
asking
interesting.
that.
Which is really interesting. One of the awarenesses that I got, and I'm like, oh gosh, I
I
did
really,
again, like Linda says, sometimes it's not obvious. It wasn't obvious until just this moment, and then it's like, oh my God, okay, got it. So it's like I have to do some work. I have to do some more work, healing work. So it's
can I
important to
just,
be. Go ahead.
because I really want to hear the answer to the question you just asked. Cindy said yes, received clear message. You said yes. How many of you guys had some kind of aha or awakening from it? Because I get it. I'm channeling super high frequency beings. So I'm not always giving, like, I know a lot of people just want to be told, you're love, you're on the right path, just feel good. And if you want that, awesome. There are teachers
Yeah.
for that. But I have found that that has only gotten you to here. And I'm the person who's going to get you from here to there. And I understand there's no here or there. It's always right here, but it's vibratory state, right?
Yeah.
Andrea said felt like tough love. Wow. I don't want it to come across. I mean, I want it to be, sometimes it comes across as different, right? Depends
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
but I think it's what the group needed.
A gorilla came through, Marjorie. Interesting.
What does gorilla mean for you? Energetically, Marjorie. What does gorilla mean for you? Okay, did anyone else have any ahas? Beverly said aha. Gorilla means strength. Awesome.
Okay, well that's good. Hmm. I'm laughing because my thing was not positive at all, but you know what? That's okay. It's like, you know
I
what?
just want to tell
Awareness
you that
comes through, it comes through.
we're it's not always positive. That's our thing. We're so attached to all positives. I was speaking with someone yesterday. I think the attachment to all positives is the problem, part of the problem, because it's attachment. And you can't navigate this reality if you're entirely attached to all positives, you're in duality.
Hmm.
The fact is, this reality is generally more or less, like a balance of positive and negative. And most of the time, those scales are doing something like this.
Yeah, I
Nothing
agree.
for all positive all the time. The point of the positive is to really enjoy it and be grateful for it and do our best to like bring forward more of it. And then to recognize that that which we perceive to be not positive is there to help us grow and inspire us to have more positive by transmuting it.
Yeah,
But it's not
exactly.
positive. It's just more like not necessarily our greatest desire, but our greatest challenges are there to help us to grow. So, the moment we judge them as not positive, like your aha was your aha, you needed it.
Yep. And
Okay,
so I know what
why
I
not?
what I need to do with it now.
Right, because do you need another channeler to come forward and tell you you are love? Do you really
No.
need, like, don't you already know that? Doesn't everybody here already know you are love? You are beautiful, you are brilliant, you are. But is that what's going to help you get unstuck? Because we started off with the aspects of getting unstuck. I did this last time on your call too. I want to move
Hmm.
into more of the growth, but that's just where we started, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the thing is, when you get those ahas of certain areas where you might be stuck, that's going to help you get unstuck, because that's going to give you that awareness of what you need to work on, what you need to heal, clear, etc., process within yourself, and that's going to help you to grow and uh and move forward, right?
I mean, that's why I asked, the first question I asked is how many really want to live your highest fulfillment? Because your highest fulfillment means you're expunged or gracefully expunging for the most part. Your challenges, your stuck points, the fears, the worries, the things that have kept you limited or blocked you or not, contributing in a positive way. you know, again, there's that word positive, but overall, that somehow you're not experiencing like the power and presence of joy in Ina's words, for example. So, then therefore, you know, from that perspective, it's just about embracing it so that we can make these transformations, right? I mean, does that make sense, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yep. So, embrace, sometimes you need to, embrace everything, right? Instead of judging it. So sometimes we judge the stuckness. We judge ourselves for being stuck. And then we
Yeah.
can, create a loop around that.
That's part of what this eclipse is, I think, going to change for us a lot. I think there's going to be less and less judgment of ourselves because you have a south node going over Virgo. So Virgo wants to be perfect, precise, buttoned up, prepared. And the south node going over Virgo in this upcoming eclipse cycle, that's not this first eclipse, but this eclipse year. I'm talking about the whole year. This will be going on for a year. We'll start realizing it's just too hard to be perfect. I'm perfectly imperfect. I'm imperfectly perfect. Like nothing can be perfect all the time. Can't be, right? So we start embracing those parts of us that we're just like trying too hard to do it right all the time, to do it exact and precise, and recognizing like the fragility of life and the fragility of us as we're all becoming more sensitive. We're all highly sensitive beings, especially the North Node in Pisces. North Node going through Pisces over the course of this year is going to get us more in touch with that sensitive spiritual aspect within us. Right? So, again, in order to live our highest fulfillment, it means we have to embrace more of the wholeness of who we are. And that includes what we perceive to be or imperfect or not exact precise or, like that makes sense, right? Yeah. Tanya said, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And I get that. Like, so usually I am too. So I get that, I also get it. Like, not everything's going to be perfect all the time. So sometimes I'm just like, I did my best. That's got to be good enough. Like, your best is as good. Your best is your best. You're doing your best and it's not perfect. Right? All right. So this is also why I asked about the highest fulfillment, because really there are some people who really aren't interested, whether they know it or not, in living their highest fulfillment, because if you're not really interested in living your highest fulfillment, chances are that's okay. But chances are, you be more contented with not trying to grow, heal, or resolve these shadow aspects we're talking about of this unconscious stuff. And that's a choice everybody can make, right? It's always a choice. But let's ask what role do you guys feel like developing your intuition and or your superhuman abilities, what role do you feel like that plays in your life, like in terms of you, and not just your intuition, but your your superhuman abilities, your gifts as a healer or as an intuitive or as an energy worker? Do you feel like that's part of you living your highest fulfillment? Who among you, if anyone, feels like that? Got a good group here.
Oops.
Yes,
Yeah, I think
yes.
quite a few people, a lot of people definitely feel that. There's a lot of healers, intuitives, energy workers, light workers
All
in
right,
this
awesome.
community.
Because so then energy workers, in order for us, for those of you who are healers, because to me, we all have, in fact, I'm hearing I could do a channeling on this, but finish my sentence and then either give way for that or ask you guys what you want next. But as healers, in order for us to be phenomenal healers, then we have to be comfortable with the shadow aspects. Like, you can't really heal something if you, like, it's sort of like a surgeon saying, oh, I don't like looking at blood. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a surgeon and you don't like looking at blood, that's a problem, right? Or if you're a doctor and you don't want to look at things like scabs and yucky things on the body, like, so if you're a healer, you have to be willing to work with energy that doesn't always feel good. Like those are shadow aspects. Yes. Are you guys all with me on that? So to me, being a fabulous healer or some form of doing, energy work of some kind, whether it's intuition or light language or channeling or some form of energy work, which there's a lot of it out there that you could, gravitate towards, or that could be working through you. But in order to do that, like, that's part of living your highest fulfillment. In other words, your highest fulfillment might be building a spaceship in the sky, and you're a tech guy, or might be working at a tech company or somewhere else. Doesn't mean you're channeling light language, but still, if you're going to be exceptional at it, like the best at it, then you're going to need more than just your human abilities. You're going to need some kind of superhuman abilities to be the best at what you do. Because to me, living your highest fulfillment, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're a dog walker. Maybe maybe you run a coffee shop. Maybe you just love your family and your kids and want to be a great parent. Whatever it is, you being the best version of you is part of your highest fulfillment. You delivering service and contribution in your unique way is part of your highest fulfillment, right? That means in order to deliver the best, you need some form of super sensory, extra sensory, like something beyond human limitation, right? Otherwise, you're just regurgitating something that's not uniquely, specifically yours. Is this making sense? Is everybody with me here? You following me? So let me give an example. I signed up for a really beautiful marketing class, and it was wonderful. But the thing is, I liked the teacher and I liked the people. The content, because it was marketing, I could have learned it from 50 million people, just regurgitated stuff. It's not the divine necessarily, right? So when you're living your highest fulfillment, some part of the divine, whether it's intuition, energy, light language, channeling, or just higher consciousness, because you're building, a spaceship to Mars or whatever, something greater than you, or if you're a parent, something greater than you, if you're living in accordance with your highest fulfillment, is going to come through you. Is this making sense? So, and especially if you're a healer, I think we can all agree that you're not the healer. You're the vehicle for the healing, for the energy and the consciousness that does the healing, right? So then, therefore, again, part of you living your highest fulfillment means that you're making space somehow for the divine, something superhuman, something greater than you to come through you, whatever you're doing, even if it's you parenting, being the best parent you can be, even if it's you doing energy healing, even if it's you building a spaceship, running a coffee shop, whatever it is. So that means in order for the divine to come through you, whether it's channeling, light language, whatever, you need to clear out that shadow aspect. So if we're in resistance to the shadow aspect, or we just keep holding on to it, then we're the blockers. We're the blockers. This is why I'm going through this, right? Okay. Is this helpful? It's making sense. Can I get a thumbs up, or like if it's helpful? Indeed. I'm wary of developing more because when I did, it was acutely painful, feeling negatively. I can do quantum touch. Healing by rising above the pain. I can usually reduce others' pain. Okay, when you say rising above the pain, you're still allowing the pain to be there because some part of you is attached to it. So you haven't really learned how to transmute it. Does that make sense? You can transmute everything. Okay, our Arunima is saying, how do you know what's our shadow aspect? All right. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Please forgive me. Arunima?
No worries. It's Arunima. It's all right. It's Nima is
Arunima.
fine.
It's a beautiful name. Beautiful name.
Thank you.
Arunima.
Yes.
Can you tell me or share what are your big challenges in your life? 1, 2, or 3 big challenges? By the way, what are the major challenges that all beings go through? While you're putting that in, Arunima. I'll tell you, there's 4 areas across the board. Number 1, physical health.
Yeah.
Physical health related issues. Number 2, I'll even expand that a little. Physical health, emotional health, mental health, health of your being. Number 2, financial.
Yep.
Money, which is linked to worth and value and fair exchange, giving, receiving. That's number 2. Number 3, relationships. Relationship with others and with self. Could say source, but I was going to put that in the 4th category. But relationship with your source, your God, your creator. Because some people are like, how could God do this? God's betrayed us. Or some people are, I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist. Okay, well, those are relationship issues with their source, right? Some people say, only Jesus. All religions will say, our path is the right way. Whatever it is, those are relationship issues, right? Okay, and relationship like, oh, she likes that. She drinks that. I don't like that. Like relationship to everything. That's the 3rd. Okay, 4th is spiritual, which you could put that in the relationship category because it's a relationship with your source, your God, your divinity, your divine, the divinity. But you could also put it in a separate category because it's so big, right? And then the 5th one, can anyone get the 5th one? I'm smiling because it was given to me uniquely. I know people that won't know what it is, but I'll give you the answer. Energy and consciousness. Because it's new for people. Just understanding this. What is energy? How does it relate to us in our everyday lives? What is consciousness? So those are your big 5 areas that all have some form of struggle or challenge for everybody. And for some people, 1 or 2 are going to be more highlighted, right? So going back to your question, Arunima.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you know what's your shadow aspect? It's going to be within those 5 categories, pretty much.
Absolutely. Physical,
Right.
emotional, financial, and also about whether people, I mean, I believe in myself, whether people will believe in myself, me or not.
Right. So that's a relationship with yourself.
Yes.
Because
money exchange. The other thing, I'm extremely shy about asking money. I cringe from asking money. That's been my problem from childhood.
so health, finances, and personal relationship, worth,
Yes.
value.
Yes.
Because when you really develop your personal relationship with yourself and your own sense of worth and value, it won't matter if other people think it or not. You'll be like, I'm the bomb, whether they see it or not. That's how I feel about me. Like I'm the bomb, whether they see it or not. Like I don't mean that to sound like an ego. I've really developed my capacity to do this work, and I think I'm fucking awesome at it. So, all right. So those are your 3 key areas. I want to ask you, how long have you been challenged in those areas? How long have you been working on that?
Very long time.
Yeah. What are some of the things you have done?
Well, I've been just mostly educating myself and spiritual development is what is giving me the strength and trying to understand where my own blockages are coming from and what can I do about it.
Right. Okay. So when you say educating yourself, so you kind of put it in 2 categories of what I heard you. You said first educating yourself and then spiritual development. What educating yourself? What, just in a bullet point or 2, what is that for you?
So basically, I'm a health and well-being coach. So I'm just trying to achieve the next step so that it puts me on a better financial position, and in a practical sense to position myself in a better situation, and spiritually because listening to all healers and everybody from Alara has some fascinating people coming, including you in this show. I'm always getting understanding what's going on a spiritual level, or what's behind the scenes, what's affecting me, and it helps me, and of course I help others, so gives me insights. That's important to me.
Okay, awesome. And I totally honor and respect you for that. And congratulations.
Thank you.
And I want to add something. And this is very progressive. So even if it doesn't land the first time you hear it, this is for everybody. The way we have grown as humans, for the most part, up until now, is through our left brain. So we're learning, we're studying, we're reading books, we're taking classes. And yes, I mean, the subtle shift slightly is when we get like things like downloads, where we do some energy healing. But real transformation, and going back to what was channeled through earlier, is vibrational change. Vibrational change cannot, I'm sorry, happen through the brain. Brain doesn't, if I tell you right now, through the brain, change your vibration right now.
Okay.
But you could have done that 10 years ago or 5 years. You could have been, if you're listening to Shefali for 2 years, you could have done it. The brain doesn't do that. The brain gives free will permission to do it. The brain says, okay, I'm going to meditate for an hour or 10 minutes. Okay, yes, I'm going to receive some healing. Okay, yes, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to shift. Okay, yes, I'm going to allow for this healing. The brain gives free will consent, but the brain does not change the vibration.
Gotcha.
So therefore, real growth, when we're talking about shifting with the light, vibrational change, it requires much more than the brain. So then we have to ask ourselves, those of us dealing with shadow aspects, fear, resentment, anger, self-doubt, money issues, whatever it is, some of the stuff we talked about. What have we done vibrationally? Because learning through the brain is not going to change it. I'm not saying it's not valuable at all. I love education. I love it. It's important. But it's not enough. It's not enough. It won't do it.
So what do you do? What do you do about it?
Well, this is what I'm asking everybody. What have you guys all done? I want to hear from all of you. You just shared some of the things you've done. But I want to hear from more of you. What are some of the things you've done to really change? Because if somebody says, okay, tapping, Tanya, how has the tapping been working for you? Let me give you an example of the tapping. And I think tapping is a great tool. It's a great tool. But I want you to imagine dropping a pebble into a pond and the ripple effect, that's like a tap. How far out will that, or even if you drop the pebble into like a lake or a flat, an ocean, how far out will that ripple really go? Let's just say for a second, you are the ocean. You are not only the ocean, you are the earth. You are not only the ocean and the earth, you are the atmosphere. You are not only the ocean, the earth, the atmosphere, you are the galaxy. You are not only the earth, the atmosphere, the ocean, the galaxy, the universe, you are the multiverse. You are beyond the multiverse. You are beyond all physicality. Your energy field is larger than 55 feet in diameter all around. Now, how much is tapping going to ripple out? Great tool, not enough. Just not good enough anymore. It helps. It gets you from there to here. Do you want accelerated transformation? Do you want to be free and liberated from that density that you've been carrying? The tapping's not going to get you there. It's going to help. It's like if you put a pebble into a pond, how far out is that ripple going to really make the change? Is this making sense? I love tapping, but tapping's not going to get to deep-rooted ancestral stuff that you've carried likely for lifetimes. Incarnation, soul agenda stuff that's so big, right? So we need to go deeper. We need something deeper. What are some of the other things you guys have done? Violet flame work. Okay, that's good stuff. Violet flame. Crystal work, sound healing. Those are good things. How has that helped you, Karen? How is that? Has that been helping you? Those things are very good. Just like tapping is. They're all good. Beverly says drop into the heart. That's good too. So Karen said relieved pain. Good. Okay. Relieve physical pain. Physical. Those are good things. Those are good practices. Those are excellent practices for incorporating. Same with tapping. It's a great practice. It's just overall, to me, when we want the most accelerated, because even crystal baths or sound baths, which are awesome, and meditation, awesome, depends on how deep you can go. Because here's the thing. If you do meditation from what is the brainwave state that most people do meditation from? Does anyone know?
Theta, or is it alpha?
Well, most people go to alpha, but you're right. A good one is theta. But this is the thing. Whether it's alpha or theta, what does that mean?
Really deep state?
Yeah, but it's still the brain.
No.
It's still the brain. We want to get you beyond the brain. That's what I teach, way beyond the brain. So that when people are in an energetic state of such deep coherence, their brain is fully conscious and aware, but it's not thinking anything. All it's thinking is, that's like what it's thinking. It's like, what? This is so awesome. I never want to leave, but it's not thinking. It's just aware. It's in a state of pure awareness. Right? So this is why I say all those tools are awesome tools, but sound healing, meditation, EFT, which is tapping technique, we talked about that, crystal work, all that stuff. It's a question of what frequency are you doing it from? Are you doing it from a frequency that is still really not getting you out of the vibratory state that you've been? So it's just subtly changing, or can you go deeper? Right? For the real accelerated transformation, we need to go deeper beyond theta alpha. You can get into gamma. All right. Soul healing in the Akashic Records. Yeah, love the Akashic Records. Love them. They are definitely awesome. How's that been working for you? But I do want to say Akashic Records, for the most part, are at a frequency of somewhere what I would call like, and I've been corrected on this terminology, but we humans, we like dimensions, somewhere around 6th, 7th dimension bandwidth, right? But you are far beyond 7-dimensional being. You're at least 24-dimensional being. So what we're talking about is clearing stuff from your field that is energetic density. That's not the truth of who you are, right? All that stuff we're talking about, these fears around money, these worries that you're good enough, walking your talk, dealing with these stuck points, some of which we know, some of which we don't know. Those are just energetic debris in your multidimensional field. And in order to really free them, we have to go deeper than just surface level. I'm getting it on the physical level. We have to clear it from the multidimensional layers that are as large, at least, as 55 feet in diameter all around us. That's the size of us. Pretty profound. Most people don't know that. Like, that's not known in the world for the most part. So this is why when people say, I've done so much, I've worked so hard, it's because most people haven't found a container, an environment where they can go so deep that they can clear all that debris, which we label as fear of money, loneliness, worry, wondering if we're good enough, worry about rejection, all those things. But those are just energetic debris in our field. And if we can't get deep enough, that stuff just still lingers in the field. And then we end up feeling frustrated because we've tried so much, we've done so much, and we're wondering why hasn't it still worked. So this is what I mean. We have to find new ways. I still love all these tools. I'm not saying the tools aren't right. It's that we need a kind of new way of doing and being. All right, I want to pause here because I feel like I'm talking a lot. And how is this making sense? This is helpful. It's starting to bring some clarity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, for a lot of us, a lot of this healing that we have done is at the surface level. We need to go deeper and deeper and without judgment and without, any of that, but just how badly do we want the transformation? How badly do we want the change? How badly do we want to get unstuck? Right? So Beverly says, big aha. Awesome.
When you
Good.
say no judgment, there is no judgment because what we're doing as a collective society, especially for those of us who are healers and light workers, which we're here, is we're transmuting lifetimes of density. Everybody here knows that, right? That's the shadow stuff. There's no judgment of this. This is what we're here for. There's no wrongness of this. There's nothing shameful about it because we've traversed so many incarnational experiences, even if you don't believe or buy into that. I mean, physics tells you it's true, so I don't know why you wouldn't. But if you don't know that it's real yet, okay, no worries. Just even your one lifetime. You've had hard times. Everybody has. You don't escape this earthly reality without having to work through those issues. So there's no judgment. There's no shame in being human, being real, saying, yeah, that sucked. That, now how do I free and liberate myself? Claim all those gifts that I didn't know, like the gifts of learning, lessons learned, the wisdom, so that I can, elevate and be more of the highest fulfillment and use it in service, right? That's what we're saying. You're clearing out your vehicle so that the divine can come through you. So that you can make that service and contribution. That's part of living your highest fulfillment. So you can access more of your superhuman abilities so you can be part of the solution on earth. To me, that's living your highest fulfillment. And yes, you're living in a vibrational frequency that overall you're, for the most part, feeling joyful. You're recognizing that your setbacks don't make you less than. They're the opportunities for you to grow and expand and up level. None of them are wrong. There's never judgment on that, really, because that's part of the journey in this physical incarnation experience. And that's part of how we're taking on so much. We're taking on so much for our brothers and sisters. So we know that, right?
Yep.
Those of us
It's not just our own stuff.
Right. It's ancestral stuff. And I know many of you were putting in, ancestral clearing in there because for sure, I've been doing ancestral clearing through the DNA and the bloodlines for years. Clearing stuff through the bloodlines. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that you do that, that's a very important part of it. Because we have the ability now to do that from when we know how, when we're really aligned energetically. So, all right, let's
Awesome.
look at some of the things we want to evolve more into.
I was just going to take a few minutes, Lori, to just because we're past the top of the hour. I just want to talk about the packages for a quick second.
Okay, let's do that. Let me find that on my computer.
I'm going to share my screen. 1 second.
Oh, that's good. You'll share your screen.
Yes. Yeah, so there are 4 packages that Lori has, and so we're just going to go through them quickly.
Yeah, you can choose.
Yeah, you can choose whichever one you want. You just have to use the code Shefali when you purchase, okay?
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
the
So the
sacred
first is a
membership.
sacred membership.
Yeah,
That
go ahead.
sacred membership is off the charts fab. It's worth so much more than that. All right. There's a whole developing your intuition class, working with empathic energy and sensitivity for highly sensitive beings. There's full classes in there. The full class of Learn the Universal Laws, the full course on sacred contracts and understanding how to clear your own contracts, full class on understanding your archetypical patterns. Look, for example, if you have money issues, chances are you're running an archetypical pattern associated with either you know, worthlessness, or some kind of pattern associated with, like it could be slave driver, or it could be victim victimizer. Like, you start knowing this archetypical patterns, your identity, because you can't really change a pattern unless you start understanding the pattern that's been playing out in you, and that's not the pattern you want to play out anymore. Like, if you get that, right? There's a full course on that. We talked about past lives, parallel lives, full course on that. I mean, they're mini courses. They're not 8-week courses, but they're really good. Working with crystals, there's a full class on that. Dimensions, timelines, gateways, and portals, full course on that. Full course on splitting of dimensions and bifurcation of time. Yeah, you want to know all about that. Unplugging from the matrix. There's a mini course. It's not the full, it's the intro course in there, right? The awakening the multidimensional body. That is what I'm talking about today. When I say you need to go deeper, when I say that your field is 55 feet in diameter and there's multidimensional layers of energetic debris in your field, the way you clear that is with that. It's so good. It's worth the class alone. Yeah, intro to animal communication and telepathy. This is, there's a lot more in there too. And there's meditations and energy healing. Yeah, it's $597 on my site. It's worth a lot more. All right.
So that's package A. And then there's package B,
Right.
which is self-love and healing for people and animals.
Yeah. Now, so someone's got forgiveness issues, that's a package you want. If someone's got issues, self-love, like worry that they're not going to be able to walk their talk, or someone's got issues related to, I don't know if I'm going to be a good enough parent. Like, this is what this is. This isn't your basic surface level self-love class. This is like the deep inner work and energy healing to support you. It really recognizing the higher truth that you already know with your brain, that you're lovable because you exist, that you matter because you exist. But people who are worried that someone else is going to judge them, that's a lack of self-love on a deep fundamental level, because it's this belief like somehow I'm judgeable. Somehow there's something wrong with me and someone else is going to take offense with who I am. Right? That's what fear of someone else's judgment is. When you start loving yourself so wholly, fully, and completely, and I'm not talking with your brain or because you go to get a massage. I'm talking about vibratory change. Then the person that you're being becomes the brilliance and the magnificence of the truth of who you are. Then you're like, anyone who doesn't love you is because they're not loving themselves. And you think, oh, they need that class too. It's not just a class, it's full of energy work, vibratory shifting. So there's a lot of bonuses in there. I've added a lot to that. It's really great class. You'll love it. And when you click, you look at the package, it describes it even more more description. And then the secret energy of money, spiritual laws of wealth and abundance class. This is a little bit old. It doesn't have 2 live bonus energy healing coaching sessions, but do the other ones have that? For anyone who registers during the live call, I'll give you one. No, this is old.
Yeah, the self-love one does as well.
Yeah, so you need to, I'm sorry, we need to edit that, but
Yeah,
I'll give you one
okay.
if you do it today live on the call.
Okay.
Don't
Yeah,
email me
okay.
3 weeks from now and you ask me for it. Like, this is the benefit to you guys being live and making a decision now and saying, yeah, I'm not going to just stay stuck and fearful in my comfort zone, right? But secret energy of money is and energetic shifting. That class, it's an awesome class. And it's got lots of bonuses, and it's got an ebook in there too. And it's a way of changing who you are, changing your identity. Because that's an archetypical pattern I was reaching for before, right? If the archetypical pattern is pauper, I'm a pauper. Well, that pattern is in your energy field. That pattern, that way of behaving. So vibrational shifting can clear that patterning from your field, combined with, yes, left brain learning, combined with new ways of thinking and believing, combined with new ways of emoting, combined with new ways of behaving. You learn it all in there, and you'll get the energy healing. It's really good. That's what that class is. So that's also 50% off. If you just need to update that page so that.
Yeah, I will.
But they'll get, if they register today, I'll throw in a bonus live call, group call with them.
Awesome. And then the
And then-
package D is future crafting, reality crafting.
Right. This is all about manifesting, becoming your best self, manifesting like a master. Yeah. When you start realizing how to manifest your reality, you're like, oh, you mean I don't have to be afraid about money? I can just like call in XYZ today. Like, and I can do it with a kind of divine certainty. I can have unshakable certainty about how I create my reality and how I'm the master of the creation of my experience. I can do it with a degree of mastery. I mean, it was that easy. Like, I don't have to have that fear that not going to have my needs met. Like, that's what this class is about. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot of extra bonuses in there. So, you get the bonuses too.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
All
So
of
there's
50%.
four different packages. See which one resonates with you. See which one your biggest core wound is, or biggest shadow aspect is, and get it. But but the sacred membership has so much in there already that covers practically everything. I would get that one,
Sounds like
package A.
I mean, I stand by all my classes. They're all freaking good. But if you have to make a decision of one, but
Yeah.
sacred membership is about your spiritual growth and development, spiritual transformation, energy healing, evolution from a spiritual perspective, right? Self-love, if you've got issues with like, I'm not good enough, I'm not going to be able to do it, other people won't believe in me, like, you want to go there. Like, I don't know if I'm capable, I don't know if it's possible, I've been stuck for all this time, right? That's a self-love package. If money and energy exchange is your thing, go for the secret energy of money. Those two classes in the middle those two in the middle are really good. And then if you just want to harness more of your personal power, reclaim more of your personal power, be a conscious creator, conscious manifester, you're not like in the fear, but you just want to get more into your mastery. Well, sacred membership's really good, but future crafting, really good for that.
You could use all four. as you're explaining all of them, it's like I could use all four.
It doesn't have to be either or. It can be all four.
Exactly.
The abundance, the infinite abundance of all that is. Right.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. So those are the four packages. So I will make those adjustments to those B and C and change the part about the live call. So just know that I'm going to change that today.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. What were you saying before about growth?
I was saying,
I think
so we're at, wow. Yeah. So we can do like another 10 or 15 if that's okay. Right. And then wrap. Is that all right?
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's like.
Oh, I'm so glad, Linda, that this has really helped you. So, and Beverly said big aha. Awesome. Yeah. So that makes me happy. So, when you're talking about some of the things that you want to experience more of, what are those? What do you want? Somebody before put in joy. I don't remember who that was. I'm looking, but what are some of the things you want more of in your life experience? You want to be more of and experience more of. So obviously, if you have health issues, one of those things is more of your ideal and optimal state of health, right? Physical, emotional, mental. energetic health, right? Peace, love, and balance. Awesome. Linda, peace, love, and balance. What do you think is, I don't mean to go back to what's preventing you, but like you can have peace, love, and balance right now. What makes you think you don't have it right now? Or do you? Maybe you do. Maybe you feel like you have it all the time. I don't know. Joy, the energy of joy. Awesome. What else do you guys want to experience more of? And this is where we get to work on this stuff with you. Got 10 minutes. Who else? I can run with those two. Some of you said freedom. Yeah, freedom's a biggie. Freedom's a big one to me. Okay, anyone who had financial issues, obviously financial wealth and abundance, or some form of abundance and prosperity. Anyone who said lack of health before, then more health, right? Anyone who's had relationship issues, more harmony in your relationships. Does that resonate with anyone? Yeah? Are you guys with me? Yes? Okay. Linda said freedom to be seen and courage to use all my tools for others. Courage. So you want to feel more courageous. Is that right, Linda? Cindy said harmony in relationships. Yeah, I totally get that. Okay, good. So let's just run with some of those since you guys are the first ones that put it in, right? So I want you, but everybody can pick, right? I want you to pick what it is for you that you want more of. And just for simplicity's sake right now, let's start with just one. So if it's more joy, if it's more courage, whatever it is, you pick yours, right? Abundance. Freedom's a good one. I mean, they're all good, right? Harmony. Now, in order, what do all of these things that all of us want more of in our lives, what do they all have in common? Well-being, Ina said. What do they all have in common? This is fun. I hope you guys think this is fun. Heart-based, high frequency. That's true. However, I want to be more specific. Emotional state? Not really, but okay, you could say that. They're not necessarily an emotional state. Divine harmony is not an emotional state, right? An emotional state is the emotional body, a field of energy around you, and it's something you feel emotionally. But divine harmony, for example, divine peace, it's not really an emotion, right? You can associate it with emotion. In truth, this is what they have in common. Connecting with our divine aspect, yes. What high frequency, yes. Boundlessness, that's true. But what I was going for was they're all energy and vibration. All of them. So let's say, we'll just go with one of them, right? Divine harmony. So a lack of divine harmony or the absence of divine harmony feels or looks energetically something like this. Something like this, right? Oh, you get a sense of what it is. You can, in your own mind, conjure that up, or feels like this, or feels like this, or something like that, right? It's like something, stress, anxiety, frustration, whatever it is, right? But you can have harmony right now. Take a moment right now. Let's just call in the energy of divine harmony. I want you to relax your lower extremities if you're willing to participate. Take a long, slow, deep, relaxing breath. And just begin to call in with your breath the energy of divine harmony. Now, what does that mean when we say call in, right? Well, it's just oxygen. No, everything's energy. And when consciousness uses intention, starts to respond, the field responds. So let's specifically call in divine harmony. And as you're breathing it in, relax your lower extremities. and start to connect that energy. Now, right now, we're just using our brain, right? The brain is saying, okay, I agree. I'll call in that energy. The body is responding. Okay, I'll breathe it in. Take a lot of it in. Now, if you want to add in a different energy, some people said divine peace, or you didn't use the word divine, but let's call in divine peace to couple it. Call in divine peace. Start to breathe it in. Now, as you're breathing it and your lower extremities are relaxing, start to let that energy that you keep breathing in move through all of your major energy centers and let yourself get filled up with it so much that you're not feeling. So this is where it's not an emotional state, but it is a kind of a feeling. It's a sensory. Start feeling that. Your brain starts going, wow, I do feel more relaxed. But now it's thinking, so it's still in the alpha state, right? Mostly still in the alpha state. It might even be in a beta because it's like, is this woman crazy? Is this working? Is this really working? Like if it's thinking, it's in beta, right? So we can slow the brain patterns down too. Someone earlier said dropping down into the heart. We're not going to be able to do a full practice today, but you can do that. Drop down into your heart like you're diving off from your brain. Like feel your brain for a minute. Be aware, like, oh, that's the brain up there. But now, if your eyes are closed, if it's safe to do so, let them close. And then dive off from the brain like you're dropping and diving off of the diving board. They're good. All the way down like you're going down into your sacred heart center. Like, wow, deep. And you just like letting yourself relax into that energetic field that is already being surrounded and infused with this breath of divine peace and divine harmony. You can also breathe in some divine grace. Not every energy is divine, but most of the ones we've been talking about. Some energies really aren't divine, right? And so much now that you're taking it even more. And now with your awareness from deep in that heart center, you're just starting to recognize you want all this energy to activate in you and anchor in you. So just let that be. Just like the brain doesn't know how to do that. Brain says, okay, whatever, I'll agree. I mean, how could it hurt? It's peace and harmony and grace. Let's just take some more of that in. Anytime the brain wants to think, dive off that diving board and drop down into the heart. And if you need to just count down to relax yourself a little, you can do that too, like by going 3, 2, 1, drop down. Notice how it starts to get deeper and quieter. Right now, all of a sudden, you're like, oh, this feels a little different, a little better. Right, still thinking, but not as much. Breathe deeper. 3, 2, 1. Divine grace, divine peace, divine harmony. 3, 2, 1. Drop down. Relax lower extremities. Let energy flow. Let this energy activate within you and anchor. And when you exhale, you're not exhaling out something negative. No, you are already peace. You are already harmony. So just let that exhalation allow it to move through that field and just have the awareness. I'm 55 feet in diameter. Let me just let it expand. Start to get a sense. What is that for you? If you allow that energy to expand all around you in every direction. Now you're doing it. You're the master here. I'm just helping you to realize a tool that gets you further out of the brain and into more of the heart and starts to shift the vibratory frequency and starts to allow you to have more of the experiences that you've been calling forward. Now you want some abundance and prosperity. You can call that in. Just breathe it in. It's all energy. You can't change your physical experience unless you change your energy. Breathe it in if you want it. And only as is for your best, right? Just let that be. Start trusting in the energy that you're breathing. Just take a few moments to notice what it feels like to be you right now, what your vibration is right now. If the brain is thinking or analyzing, do a 3, 2, 1 drop down into the heart. Brain is not going to be able to figure this out. But the brain will help you be aware. You'll have a sense of awareness. You can call forward some other energies that you'd like to, but we just started to play with some of the initial ones that were brought in or brought up at the beginning, but just get a sense of what it feels like to be in the energetic vibration of divine peace, divine grace, divine harmony, and to be aware that in a matter of moments, you have within you the ability to subtly shift the energetics and to call forward any form of energy that you desire and to allow it to move through your field. And you can open your eyes because, again, we're not doing a whole full class here. We're doing a little practice. But how does that feel for you guys just in that little practice? How are you guys feeling? Do you have a sense of like, oh, wow, that didn't take much. That wasn't very hard. That was pretty easy. I just vibrationally felt different, in some way better. Spacious, love that. Yes, light and easy. Linda says that was amazing. Patty says, thanks, Lori, needed it. Peaceful and aware. Yes. Now, you may say that that does not change the money in your bank account. You're right, it doesn't. And that doesn't heal your physical body. You're right, it doesn't. Not in those, not in that much time. You're right. Does it change your vibration? Yes. And with continued conscious discipleship, conscious application, and that's just a basic. Will that ultimately change your vibration and your frequency so that you start having a different experience? Absolutely 100% certain, yes. Zero doubt on this one. Are there other practices and applications you need to put in there? Yes. Does that mean you're still going to go to your singing bowls? Yes. Does that mean you still might do a little EFT tapping sometimes? Yes, if that's how you feel. Does that mean you still might, go out and sit in nature? Yes. But this core practice, and we barely scratch the surface. You have the power within you to start changing your vibration and becoming more of the energy that you resonate with. Because when you resonate with energy, you have more of those experiences. So, for example, if I'm attracting bullies into my life, if I use that as an example, and people who are threatening me because I'm giving too much, because I'm being a people pleaser, and I start surrendering into that space, I start realizing, there's a better way for me to be. And it's okay for me to be that way. Because now I'm out of the brain and I start connecting with the awareness that's in my multidimensional field that already knows how to do something different or better. And says, you know what? I just need to add in these healthy boundaries. Like, I didn't have to figure that out. I just started realizing I have to say, here's the limit. Here's what I'm willing to do. Here's what I'm not willing to do. Like, that wasn't something I learned in a book. That was something that came to me through me as part of the solution as I was changing my vibratory state. Through coming into this center core being space where the brain doesn't need to think or figure anything out. But I get it. We just did a 30-second or 3-minute or 5-minute practice to give you a taste, because that's what we can do on a call like this. Okay. Does this make sense? Is this helpful to you guys?
Absolutely, very helpful. So for myself, it was very calming and peaceful, and I became much more centered, which is what I needed. So thank you. But yes, this was just a short practice, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. If you sit with this longer, 10 minutes and just be in it, it's about, raising a vibration frequency regularly, consistently. This was, again, just a taste. And when you do it regularly, consistently, yes, your outer reality will also change.
I just also want to say it's not just about raising your vibration, it's about changing
Mm-hmm.
your core frequency.
Yes.
You have
Yeah.
to change your frequency, because if your identity, going back to the example, is proper, or your identity is I'm physically unhealthy, or your identity is I've been struggling for so long, or your identity, that's the vibratory state where you've been, that's your vibratory frequency, that's your core vibration. So we don't just want to raise your vibration, because raising your vibration isn't enough. That's why you feel like, oh, I feel so good, I feel so better. But then it's back to the same. No, change your frequency to a new vibratory state. That comes with practice, discipleship, application. And for anyone who does before we hang up, like in my groups, in my Sacred Visionary Mentorship, this is just barely scratching the surface, but we get into these deep states. We're in them for extended period of time, and we are literally changing the frequency where we vibrate. And when we do that, we're also awakening divine source consciousness within us that has so much unlimited potential, and all of our solutions that we need, like the answers, the clarity, the information, the energetic blocks are removed. So you need extended periods of time in this, it's true, but it's not like you have to spend 9 hours a day in it.
Right. Yeah.
And this is why you get into circles where it's being practiced. In my circle, we do it, for an extended period of time. So it becomes more of the truth of who we are. Then when somebody is doing something to you, or you're having a challenge with your health, a challenge with relationship, a challenge with money, it becomes the solution to be like, I know the solution, I have it right now, and more will be revealed as I use these basic foundational practices. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very helpful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us and allowing us to experience that. So yeah,
Just to
that was
finish the
awesome.
sentence, so for anyone who buys the package today, you'll get in on a group call like that, and you get to do it in a whole elevated way. I love it.
Thank you. And thank you everybody
Bye.
for all your questions and feedback, and for participating with us. That's what brought all the wisdom through, from Lori and her team, right? So thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. Again,
One thing
take a
I
look at the
will just say,
packages.
one last thing too, with all the packages, you'll get gifted DNA activation. I mean, you can get it on my website, but on my YouTube, but really you want the class with it that comes with it. You'll get that in all those packages, because the DNA is another major aspect. So just remember, I didn't say that with the packages before, but you'll get the class on the DNA activations, how to do it, and you'll get some gifted activations. One of which is the codes of freedom. Because I know somebody mentioned freedom before. That was a big one. I love the codes of freedom. When other people were going through lockdown, I was like, free, handing out codes of freedom activations. You want those codes. All right.
Absolutely. I'm just
You know
going
me,
to quickly put
Shefali, I
the
go on
link.
forever, so I'm going to zip
I
my.
know. But Petra was asking about how to buy the package, so I'm just going to put the link in the chat. It's just any of those 4 packages. If you click on those links and use the code Shefali, that's the key to use the code Shefali. So Lori, with all of the packages, each of the packages, you get a group call, a live group call, or
Yes,
just the 2 in the
I'll put
middle.
one group call for each of them, just not 2, not at a discounted.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just make a point, but that's just
And that's
today.
only for the live.
Yeah.
So
That's
get
only
in
today.
now. Need it.
So yeah, so I will put that on the page, but still, we're talking about it now, so now you know, it's just for today. So make sure you purchase or today if you want that extra live call, okay? But yes, the DNA activation call class is going to be available for all of the packages as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's a great extra bonus. Wonderful. Love it. So
Thanks.
thank you so much, everyone. This was great. This was so powerful. Go back and watch and listen. Of course, like I always say, there's so much wisdom, but the channeling at the beginning was awesome, so powerful, so much wisdom. And then of course this last little process we did again, that was what do I call it? This process we just did. This was again so powerful and beautiful. And this is something you can do regularly. Yeah, I highly recommend you do that regularly. But yes, definitely get one of the packages from Lori or all four. Like I need all four. You can get more than one. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll be back next
Folly.
week.
Folly, I'm going to gift you a call with me. Do you want?
Oh, you're so sweet.
I'm going to gift you a live class with me. Okay.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that so much.
I will circle with you outside, offline.
Yes, sounds
I
sounds
love you
good.
so
Thank you so much.
sister. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
Thank you. All right,
Bye,
everyone. Until
guys.
next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all so much love and blessings. Bye for now. Thank you, Linda. So
You
sweet.
do, sweetie. Both of you. Thank you so much. This was wonderful.
So
Oh,
glad.
good. Thank
All
you,
right.
Linda. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Glad you were here. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye, honeys.
Bye.